Welcome to Skytech-Lens. For decades, the United States has dominated global trade, its products everywhere. But a subtle shift is underway. A new contender is rising, not with noise but with steady, strategic moves: Canada. Thanks to stable policies, a prime location, and a reputation for quality, Canada is quietly rewriting the rules of international commerce. We're about to explore 7 countries where consumers are turning away from American goods and embracing Canadian alternatives. Some of these shifts are expected, but others reveal just how deep this change runs. This isn't about minor market changes, it's a realignment of trust and partnerships. Let's dive in and uncover Canada's silent takeover. In Brazil, American snack brands once ruled the supermarket aisles: Pringles, Oreos, Kellogg's, all household names. But today, those shelves are filled with Canadian brands, now claiming 43% of the snack category. Canadian companies didn't just copy US products, they offered cleaner ingredients and innovative flavors that resonated with modern Brazilian tastes. The result? A dramatic shift in loyalty. Brazilian families are choosing Canadian breakfast foods and snacks over long-standing American favorites. US brands like Kellogg's and Mondelez are scrambling to respond as their decades-old dominance erodes. Canadian brands have made transparency and quality their identity, winning over a new generation of consumers. This isn't a passing trend, it's a deep change in behavior. The Brazilian snack aisle is now a battleground, and Canada has scored the first major victory. It's a powerful example of how quickly a market leader can be dethroned by a challenger with the right strategy. What's happening in Brazil is just the beginning of a much larger global story. The snack aisle revolution is a sign consumer trust is up for grabs. American brands are no longer invincible. Canadian products are now the preferred choice, not just a substitute. The shift is permanent, and the implications are global. Brazil's snack aisles tell the story of a new era in trade. In Australia, American fashion once defined youth culture: denim, surfwear, and mall brands everywhere. But now, Canadian brands are taking over, with a 28% surge in popularity as US brands drop by 15%. The secret? Canadian labels like Roots and Lululemon focus on sustainability, ethical production, and a minimalist style that resonates with Gen Z and millennials. Young Australians want more than logos, they want values and authenticity. Canadian brands offer a lifestyle that feels real and grounded, perfectly matching Australia's love for the outdoors and quality. Meanwhile, US brands are losing relevance, stuck in old marketing formulas and failing to innovate. The cool factor has shifted. Canadian apparel is now the benchmark for style. Social media and influencers amplify this trend, making Canadian labels the new status symbol. Billions in sales and cultural relevance are at stake, and US brands are falling behind. Australia's fashion scene is proof. Being in tune with cultural values beats brand heritage. Canada's success is about listening, adapting, and connecting deeply with consumers. The wardrobe makeover is more than a trend, it's a shift in identity. Australian youth have found their new style leaders. The message is clear: authenticity wins. Canada is now setting the pace in Australian fashion. India's booming middle class was once the next big prize for American processed food companies. But as Indian consumers grow more health-conscious, skepticism toward heavily processed US foods has surged. In just 2 years, US processed food imports to India have dropped 17%. Meanwhile, Canadian food suppliers have seen a 31% growth, thanks to their reputation for transparency and high-quality natural ingredients. Products like canola oil, pulses, and oats from Canada are now trusted staples in Indian homes. The Product of Canada label has become a symbol of safety and quality. Indian shoppers are reading labels, researching brands, and choosing transparency over flashy advertising. Canadian companies have built loyalty by aligning with these new priorities. The shift is a blow to US brands, showing that size and legacy are no longer enough. For Canada, this is just the beginning of a long-term partnership. India's middle class has chosen its preferred supplier, and it's Canada. Trust and quality have redefined the market. The quest for purity has a new champion. In the UAE, American brands once dominated luxury malls and supermarket shelves. But as halal regulations tightened, many US companies failed to adapt, losing shelf space and consumer trust. Canadian companies saw opportunity, investing in rigorous halal certification and making compliance a core part of their export strategy. Brands like Jameson Vitamins quickly launched fully certified halal lines, winning over UAE consumers. The result? A 42% surge in Canadian sales across the UAE. Canadian brands have proven more nimble and culturally sensitive, embracing local requirements rather than resisting them. This adaptability has paid off, with Canadian products now seen as trustworthy and respectful of local values. The shift isn't political, it's about meeting strict standards and earning loyalty. US brands lost ground by underestimating the importance of deep compliance. Canada's success in the UAE is a lesson in localization and respect. The future of trade belongs to the most adaptable, not the biggest. Canadian companies changed themselves to fit the market, and won. The UAE's Halal pivot is a model for global success. Canada's approach is now the gold standard. Japan's consumers are famously discerning, valuing quality, reliability, and precision above all. American brands once thrived here, but recent recalls and slipping standards have damaged their reputation. Canadian products known for reliability and quiet excellence have filled the gap. In sectors like high-tech manufacturing, agri-foods, and lumber, Canadian goods now enjoy a 17% growth in market share. Japanese importers seek out Canadian partners for their consistent quality and alignment with local values. Canadian lumber and food products are now the gold standard, prized for safety and sustainability. The shift is rooted in cultural synergy. Japan's pride in craftsmanship matches Canada's commitment to doing things right. US brands are learning that past reputation isn't enough in today's demanding market. Canada's steady growth is a result of meeting and exceeding expectations. In Japan, trust is everything, and Canada has earned it. The verdict is clear: reliability wins. Canada is now Japan's preferred partner for quality. The maple leaf stands for trust in Japan. In France, strict EU standards shape consumer choices, and American brands have struggled to keep up. Canada, by aligning its regulations with the EU, has become a natural fit for French retailers and shoppers. Canadian household goods have seen a 26% growth in France, while US imports have dropped 18%. French consumers trust Canadian products to meet environmental and safety standards. Canada's government and industries work together to streamline certification and market compliance as a selling point. This cooperative approach contrasts sharply with the US's more confrontational stance. In France, compliance is king, and Canada's long-term strategy is paying off. The drop in US imports is a direct result of regulatory mismatch. Canada's growth is a reward for playing the long game. In the highly regulated EU market, trust and compliance matter most. Canada is proving that embracing local standards leads to success. France's shelves now tell the story of a new trade leader. Germany, known for its rigorous standards, was rocked by a report exposing banned chemicals in US-made products. The fallout was swift. Retailers delisted American goods, and consumers turned away. Canadian products, already compliant with strict German and EU regulations, filled the gap immediately. Canadian companies provided full documentation and certification, proving their safety and reliability. The result? A 33% boost for Canadian goods in affected categories. German consumers made a clear choice for trust and safety. Canada's culture of exceeding standards, not just meeting them, became its greatest asset. The US lost ground by doing the bare minimum, while Canada's integrity won over the market. Germany's shift is the clearest sign of a new world order in trade. It's no longer about price or brand, it's about trust, transparency, and shared values. Canada's strategy is validated in Europe's most demanding market. The pursuit of quality is now the most powerful weapon in global trade. Germany's shelves reflect a new era. Canada is the trusted choice. From Brazil to Germany, a new global trade story is unfolding. It's not just about Canada winning and the US losing. It's about a shift in what consumers value, trust, quality, and respect for local standards. The world is moving from a unipolar trade system to one where agility and integrity matter most. Canada's rise is a blueprint for success in the new global economy. The old ways are fading. A new map of trade drawn along lines of trust is emerging. Who will learn to read it next? The real stories are often hidden behind the headlines. If you want to keep following these shifts, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching. Subscribe the channel for more updates.